piange di malinconia, lontan sei tu da me, dal cuore che ti ama, io t'amo e t'amerò.
All right, guys, good evening. And this is another Total OS late night for this Friday evening. I just got back from Jazz Night. I have friends of mine that come in from Pittsburgh once a month. Downtown restaurant, they do their jazz stuff. A night of relaxing music, food, and of course, booze, right? So for tonight, we'll talk a little bit about Linux Mint and Ubuntu. Hang on a second, let me get my drink ready here.
Listen, the birds are singing. The spring is finally here. My broken heart is crying.
All right. I love sweet red wine. It just hits the spot, especially at night. The red wine is kindly donated from viewers like you. You know who you are. Thank you. It's always appreciated. All right. So I did not have this scheduled for this evening. I wasn't sure how I would feel coming home late tonight, but I feel okay for a little bit of a live chat. So if anybody's out there in the chat and wants to say hello, or if you catch this later, sorry I missed you. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so you will know when I jump on. I do not have a schedule for these live shows. I'm not sure if there's any demand or market for that anymore post-pandemic, but that's up to you guys. Let me know. If you'd like to sponsor a live show, live event, topic of your choice, let me know, and I will schedule it. Until then, I will do these shows at random at different times, so different folks around the world in different time zones can have an opportunity to stop in to say hello. And for these random shows, since it's late night, I just call this Total OS Late Night, of course, with some of my dad's music in the back room. Wonderful songs from beautiful Italia. All right, so one more sip of mine, then we'll go into a couple of topics. All right, I did forget the cannolis, darn it. Okay, so for tonight I'm streaming from Linux Mint. I dual boot this with Ubuntu, latest one being 25.04, using Xorg or X11 display driver. I think, from my personal experience, I think Wayland display driver is a freaking nightmare. It freezes up, apps don't work, and it's, yeah. So for tonight, streaming from Linux Mint, it's probably, you know, besides Chromebooks, okay, Linux Mint is probably the Linux standard for the masses right now. Besides Chromebooks. Because it does not force you to use Wayland. Yeah, you can go with the Mate desktop for tonight. That's what I'm using, the Mate version of Linux Mint. You have Cinnamon, XFCE, and I believe Debian. So you do have choices. So if you're a Linux user, I know the information on YouTube can be overwhelming, confusing. There's still lots of BS out there on YouTube about Linux and Windows and what's best for you. Sadly, not much has changed over the years. Sometimes it feels that way. But that being said, If you have a spare machine, you can certainly install anything that you want to. But if you don't have a spare machine or don't have the time, maybe you're, I don't know, you're a nurse, a fireman, a school teacher, a store manager, you just want something that works and you don't have time to mess with things, just get yourself a Linux-powered Chromebook and start from there. It still may not be for you, but you won't have to worry about bugs or using the terminal. If you're more adventurous, would like to tinker, definitely download a version of Linux Mint, and I think that will be the best thing for you. Possibly. Ubuntu has decided to drop X11 display option for the next release of Ubuntu. I think it's a big mistake, and I've proven it many times. You know, Wayland is almost 20 years old now. If 20-year-old tech is the future for Linux, my goodness, what can I say about that? Then Windows has nothing to worry about, right? That's how I see it. So yeah, I posted a poll out. If you would like to respond here, will you drop Ubuntu next time for the lack of support? Because no more option to boot into the X11 display server. It's going to be Wayland only. Will you drop Ubuntu because of that? I don't use Ubuntu every day. I may drop it anyway. I use it mainly for testing purposes because it's not my display driver. My display OSs of choice are, again, Linux Mint, Chrome OS, and Windows 11. But for those of you who use Ubuntu and need X11, will you drop the next Ubuntu? Or will you drop anything in Linux that forces you to use Wayland? Just a little poll. You're welcome to respond here after this show is over. It looks like some of you will. It looks like some of you like it the way it is. But I have a feeling most of you will probably consider dropping Ubuntu, because it's just not for you. Again, I don't use Ubuntu every day. The last time I used Ubuntu on a regular basis was probably 2016, right before they switched to GNOME. That was pretty much the beginning of the end for Ubuntu for me. And it was very disappointing. Very disappointing. But such is the world of tech. I guess this constant change. So that's how I feel about all this when it comes to Linux technology. I really liked Ubuntu with Unity. I thought they were close to perfecting it, and then they decided to drop it, switch to GNOME. So many headaches with GNOME. Extensions that don't work, they break, freeze ups. Yeah. Ubuntu's gotten better. And just when I think I have Ubuntu installed and tweaked just the way that I want to as a Windows user, it's time for Wayland. Well, Wayland can go away. Ah, boy, what a mess. Anyway, once again, if you are a Windows user and are confused, start with the Chromebook, then go from there. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Okay? We'll keep it simple. Okay. Let me go in the chat here and see who popped in. Cody is in the house. Buenas noches, señor. You decided to stick with Windows. Nothing wrong with that. Windows 11 is fantastic. A debloated, tweaked Windows 11 is fantastic in my opinion. So, let's see here. Yeah. Ubuntu Unity was amazing. I think so. I thought it was fine. Mr. Brogrura is in the house. How are you, my friend? Long time no see. Welcome. Wayland can go to a Wayland. Yeah. That's putting it mildly. Yeah. Wayland can go to a Wayland. Well, I really don't know what else to say. Apparently, the Linux powers that be are saying, hey, a almost 20-year-old piece of tech is the future for Linux. I'm sorry, I just dozed off there. Wow. The only reason that forces me to use Windows is gaming. Burgura, okay. Well, Windows still is the king when it comes to gaming, in my opinion. I don't game as much anymore as I used to. Now that my son has grown up, I don't get into the games that much. Linux has gotten better with gaming. There's no question. Absolutely. But who has mastered it still? It's got to be Windows. You don't have to worry about display drivers or Wayland nonsense. It just works. So for gaming, Linux is not quite there yet. Windows is king. All right, let me grab another sip of wine here. Man, I have to tell you, a chocolate brownie and sweet red wine, for some reason, it just hits the spot. Trust me, try it. It really does. Valve has done so much to make gaming work on Linux, but the journey's still going. Fair enough. I would say that's a fair statement. Yes, absolutely. I've never had problems gaming in Windows or with the display drivers. It's always worked for me. Yeah, I know, Cody, you're in college for the IT field stuff. Yes, you can learn Linux using the WSL Windows Subsystem Linux. Sure, there really is nothing wrong with that. I was actually running some updates on my Chromebook yesterday. Boy, the speed and simplicity of a Chromebook, it really is to be admired. It really is. Starting for $200, man, it's something else in today's more expensive world, thanks to the freaking tariffs. But yeah, I'm happy with my Chromebook. You're teaching yourself PowerShell, Cody? Getting your A+ certification? Cool. I'll drink to that. I'll drink to that when you graduate. How's that? We'll have a Cody graduation night special just for you next year, right? Next spring, fall, right? So this is my simple setup here when it comes to Linux Mint. I got this Starfield wallpaper, panel at the top, of course the now classic Mint menu, shortcuts here at the top, current open tabs, my dad's tunes, OBS Studio. Sometimes I'll let a Cairo dock run here to the right. I don't really have it there. I have transparency effect here at the top. My weather applet to keep it simple, and it looks like I may have some updates here to install, but it just works. I like to keep it simple. I mean, let's look at the system monitor. Okay, 2.1 gigs on this very old Lenovo dual core machine, but it works with Linux Mint. It just works. So there you go, and that is my very simple Linux Mint setup for tonight. Oh, spring 2026, Cody, to graduate? Awesome. The U.S. has put tariffs on your country, Algeria. I don't know what Algeria exports it to the U.S. Maybe dates. Yeah, right. Oh, what a mess in this country. What a president. Well, I can't say what I want to say. Anyway. Yeah, Chrome OS works, especially on a Chromebook. Of course, you can download Chrome OS Flex. That may or may not work, but of course, Chromebooks certainly absolutely do work. Cody's at work and you're tired. I feel for you, buddy. Yeah. It is almost midnight here, but I don't have to get up early tomorrow morning. I actually feel quite relaxed for tonight. And Linux Mint helps out with that. It's minty goodness, right? I don't know what my next computer is going to be. You know, I've thought about it. I've searched. I was going to buy it. Then I had surgery. I had to pay more money out of pocket for my surgery. Nothing serious. I'm okay. I was going to buy a computer, but then I spent too money on the surgery. I'm thinking about it, and yeah, I think I want to hold off. I'm just not feeling it right now to buy a new PC. I really should, because everything I have is over 10 years old, and there's only so much horsepower you can squeeze out of a dying horse, as it were. But it still runs. Cody, drinking soda to keep you going? Watch out, too much sugar isn't good for you. Although I do like Monster drinks. Yeah. I like ThinkPads also, yes. you like Pip Zero? Okay. Yeah, occasionally I'll get some Monster. It's been a while since I've had Red Bull. But usually if I'm in the mood for a power drink, I'll go with Monster. Several years ago when I had my singer friend on during the lockdown, he says, Ubuntu? That sounds like a power drink like Red Bull. Yeah, give me a shot of Ubuntu with some Red Bull. Ubuntu. More power. Thank you, Arnold. Ah, you switched to Alani versus Monster. Okay. Water, energy with some vitamins. Very good. Now that's power. Thank you, Arnold. I've been drinking the new ginger ale with the twist of cherry. 0 calories. Something like that. Brogura says you wish you could work. Graduated last year in computer science. This year you landed a job in Soentrack, oil and gas state-owned company. But can't start work until you pass a 1-year mandatory army service. Ah, got you. Yes. Well, that 1 year will probably go quickly. It looks girly, Cody, but the girlfriend got you addicted? Okay. I don't think I'm addicted to anything. Maybe red wine at night, but even then I don't have to drink it every single night. And it's you know, the sweet red wine I drink, it's not very particularly strong, but yeah, I think I'm proud to say I'm not really addicted to anything, at least not right now. Yeah. I've been quite fortunate. Yeah, I know in the countries besides outside of the U.S., it is mandatory to do military for 1 year, which may not be that bad of a deal of something for a young person to do. But Cody, Scooter's Coffee got you addicted. Yeah, they got Red Bull. Haha. Peach Pie Red Bull infusion. That's too much power. They opened up a new Starbucks in town. That's number 2. We have 2 Starbucks, 2 Dunkin' Donuts, 1 Tim Hortons. I mean, how many coffee shops do you need within a few mile radius? It's really stupid in my opinion. But no cinema. But that's another topic for another night. Yeah, coffee can be addicting. Absolutely. Thankfully, I am not addicted to that. Yeah, I don't know what it is in this town with coffee shops and car washes. We got the 5th car wash within like a few mile radius. It's I don't get it. Because here when it gets down to 0, who's going to be going to the car wash anyway when the temperature is below freezing anyway? Right? It's just a thought. I mean, these car washes aren't sealed. So it's going to get cold. Whatever. All right, so let's see. Before I'm going to wrap this up, it's past midnight here. I believe the biggest tech news of the week for Linux probably had to be Debian dropping 32-bit support for Debian, what is it, 13, 14? Debian 13. No more 32-bit support, at least not officially. Kind of disappointing, but not too surprising. So if you're running previous Debian 12, you're good for another couple years, I do believe. But be aware that Debian 13 has dropped official 32-bit support. I do have 2 ThinkPads. I don't use them that much that are 32-bit. One of them has MX Linux that works still. And yeah, no more 32-bit for Debian. I have not seen the Google Pixel. They are excellent phones from what I've read about. I just don't feel like spending, what is it, $600-700 on a phone right now. I really need more computer than a phone, but they are excellent phones and probably the best phones on the market right now, at least for Android phones from what I have seen. But yeah, it's a good phone. It's probably worth it. You get what, 5 years of OS updates, which isn't bad. But yeah, it's just not for me. Yes, expensive, but it's definitely a good phone, and it's been around a while. I think the A series Pixel start at what, about $400 or less? A little bit smaller, but I'm more into the Motorola or Samsung Galaxy phones. Probably more Motorola for myself. But I currently have a Samsung Galaxy A series, the A25, which is fine. I think I like my Moto Edge more, but that one stopped getting OS updates. It stopped at Android 15, no Android 15. Even though we were promised Android 15, but Motorola said no. And that's how the market works sometimes. Oh, the new Pixels get 7 years of support. Really? Then if that's the case, that's an excellent bargain. Because let's say that the top of the line Pixel phone is $700. That's like $100 a year for a new phone, for a new OS. I think that's fair. Ah, you have a Galaxy Ultra? Yeah, those are pricey. Nice phones. There's no question. So your Galaxy phone also gets 7 years of support. Okay. All right. Works for me. Yeah, I think my current Galaxy phone is 4 years of support, but then again, it was only like $250, so can't really complain that much. All right. Before I wrap this up, is there anybody else in the chat who wants to say hello? Maybe you're shy. Don't be shy. Have a question, comment. Do it now before we wrap this up for this very, very early morning for me, 12:05 a.m. Yes, Samsung has always been somewhat generous with their update policy. Google, Motorola, as much as I like Motorola, is probably one of the worst when it comes to OS updates policy, although that's starting to change. But Samsung and Google, you can't go wrong. You can plug the phone into a docking station, give you a desktop version of Chrome OS. Nice. Oh my goodness, Bruguera. It is 5 a.m. now in your country. Wow, so you're just starting your day. Well, good morning to you. Thank you so much for stopping in this early morning. Always a pleasure to have you here. Good luck with your 1-year stint in the Army and the job search and all that. Wishing you all the best. And cheers from Ohio, here in the US of A. I remember the Motorola droids. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, it is 12:06 here Eastern Time, so. Okay, I think that's it for tonight. I don't think there's anybody else in the chat, so glad both of you stopped by. I wish we had more people here, but that's how it goes sometimes. It's just random luck, whoever pops in. Those of you that I missed, you know how to reach me. Post a comment below. Suggestions, rants. If you have to rant about something, let me know. It's okay. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Good night and good day to all of you here on Planet Total OS. Thank you. Arrivederci.